Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Boeing 737 pilot, and welcome back to the iFly 737 MAX. Today we're going to fly from Nürnberg to IZMIR with the beautiful Sun Express livery. It's a very early morning flight departing at 5:15 AM local time, so we would already have flown from our home base in Izmir to Nürnberg for a lovely night flight, then probably an hour or two layover, and then it's gonna be right back to where we came from. So before we start, let's have a look into the flight plan, and you can see we are going to fly a fairly straight route all the way across Eastern Europe down to Izmir. The significant weather chart today looks absolutely fantastic. There is nothing on here at all, and if you look at the airport weather, it's clear skies over in Nürnberg, it's clear skies in Izmir, and it's clear skies in Dalaman at our alternate as well. That makes it fairly easy to decide on our fuel quantity. An on-time departure means an on-time arrival. We are planned with a cost index of 4. Yes, Sun Express really does that. Yes, that's someone flying lower cost index than Ryanair. Well, our zero fuel weight is pretty close to the maximum. Likewise, the landing weight is pretty close to the maximum. Takeoff weight's totally fine though. Flight level 370 is our planned cruising level, and when we go down into the fuel section of our flight plan, then we can see that about 8.5 tons of fuel is what we need. Well, and with those minimums out of the way, I see absolutely no reason to take any more than that. We can head straight into our aircraft. So, we're going to be flying from the captain's seat today. It's just lovely that it's already daylight at this time of the day. Really makes a flight like this a lot easier than if it was still nighttime. Now, starting with the basics over here, we already have the electrics on, our external powers on. We can ensure that the cabin utility and IFE switches are on. Emergency exit lights on, seatbelts off because we still have to refuel. The attendant call button is already checked. The takeoff warning config is checked. We don't need to do the fire tests again because we've already flown this plane. And then we can get right up to the top. Basically, we only gotta turn the IRSs on again, and with that our safety inspection is complete. In terms of the safety checks, let's ensure that the terrain display is selected and that we got an appropriate range. Our oxygen mask doesn't need another check since we've already flown the sector, and with that out of the way we can just go straight down into the EFB onto the payload and performance page. Now, it would be really nice if we could just import the SIMRI flight plan over here, but unfortunately we can't do that just yet, so empty airplane for the time being. Should probably have loaded a bit of fuel. Okay, so we said we need 8,500 kilograms of fuel. Let's go ahead and load that. And then we can go into the passengers. We are planned at 178, so full house. And that leads us to a zero fuel weight of 60.9. Our planned zero fuel weight is a little bit higher than that, 65.5, so we have to add about 4,500 kilos of cargo. So let's put 2,500 in the front hold and then 2,000 in the aft hold. And here we go. With that, we do gotta fill out the fuel page. So taxi out fuel will be about 200 kilograms, and then our trip fuel today is going to be 5,402. Alright, like this. And we are within all limits. We're inside the CG over here as well, so set payload and set fuel. Wonderful. With that, our airplane is loaded, and then we can go ahead and start to prepare ourselves for today's service. So let's start by filling out the FMC. It's a 737-8 28K engine. The nav database is up to date at the time of this recording. So GPS position goes in here, and then we can do a flight plan request. And while we're waiting for that, let's also bring up the flight plan in the FS24 EFB like this. Alright, load the route. We will be the Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo from Nürnberg to IZMIR. So, departing Nürnberg, runway 10, and we've got the Rhodes 1 Charlie departure. And our arrival is going to be most likely runway 34. And as you can see, loads of different approaches over there. Let's go ahead and find the one that's going to be the most applicable to us. And actually, we don't need Navigraph charts, we do have that in the EFB. I keep forgetting about that for some reason. So let's complete the payload setup over here and then head over into the terminal charts. We're going from Echo Delta Delta November. Search Nürnberg to Lima Tango Bravo Juliet. Search enter, and alternates we've got Lima Tango Bravo Sierra. Search enter. Alright, complete that. Now for our arrival, let's have a look at the clipboard, and we are looking for the stars. Today's star is going to be the Rixo 1 Echo arrival. And Rixo 1 Echo, where is it? Here's the Juliet, so it's just very hard to find something over here, is it? Rixo Bravo? God, this is such a hard thing to find anything on. I can totally get why nobody's using this EFB in the real world anymore. Okay, Rixo 1 Echo, the last chart of all, of course. So, zooming in a little bit, Rixo 1 Echo brings us into a nice downwind towards Suslu. Well, so let's go ahead and plan that. Actually, we could also take the Rixo 1 Golf leading us towards Fofut. I think that's easier, isn't it? So Rixo 1 Golf arrival, and then for the approaches themselves, normally it's the Zulu approach. However, I do know that Say Intentions kinda tends to do things backwards. So let's see, uniform. Yeah, uniform. Okay. So ILS uniform 34 right via Fofut. And we're going to take the Rixo 1... Did I just say Echo or Golf? It's hard to fly an airplane, isn't it? So, Rixo 1 Golf. Okay, good. So, activate and execute. Then, let's have a look into the departure first of all. What's it doing now? Well, that's complete. So, departing Nürnberg. And here's our SIDs. Rhodes 1 Charlie should be on here. So, Delta November 107, Delta November 113 above 6,300. That's during activity of the night low flying system. That might actually be active today, so 6,300 above, or not below, above. Oh, what's that? 6.3 above. Oh, that's a bug in the iFly. I insert an above restriction and it turns it into a below restriction. If I type 6,300, it works. If I use the abbreviated form, it doesn't. iFly. Okay, so, and then off to Rhodes. Initial climb clearance flight level 70. Might just about dial that in already. Cool, then we can go ahead and do the wind data request. And while we're waiting for that, let's have a look at the progress page, where we can see 1,006 nautical miles versus 1,227 nautical miles. So wind data is here, load, and execute. Lovely. Okay, cool. So for our departure, we are going to insert a 25-mile fixed ring for the MSA. Then we have a transition altitude of 5,000, and that's checked down here. So let's go into the fuel now. Reserves are 2.7. Zero fuel weight. We are looking at 65.6. Almost close to the maximum. Flight level 370 will be the cruise level. The average wind is 24 knots of tailwind, so let's turn that into something like, Well, 347 or 337 at 47 looks good. We'll take that. So eyesight deviation minus 57, or rather top of climb OAT, transition altitude 5001, and execute. So noise abatement procedure 2, acceleration in 1500, that's okay with me, and with that our FMC is set up. Lovely, then we can do a flight deck inspection. So yaw damper is coming on, nav transfer display switch is set, fuel pumps, all of them coming on, and then we can test the transfer feed valve. Right then off, and the center pumps are not needed for takeoff. Technically speaking, they want you to use the center pumps if you have more than 453 kilos of fuel in the main tanks. However, in a practical point, we usually use 1000 kilos of fuel, because otherwise you could always just run across a little bump that might kill your pressurization, so we definitely don't want that. So left igniter, since it's the second flight of the day and we don't have maintenance here, then let's start the APU, because it is 30 degrees inside. And even though people are going to summer holidays, I have a feeling that they do not want to get there all sweaty before getting out of the aircraft. So flight directors are coming on, and then what do we have for the courses? 094. Same for the runway heading. And the right course as well. 094, wonderful. We don't have a QNH just yet. Auto brake RTO, fuel flow reset. Hydraulics are looking good. Recall is looking good. And then let's get to our frequencies. So we can complete this down to the airport chart. That would be lovely if we could actually turn this one like this. Okay, so ATIS on 123.08. And then we also need the guard frequency on 121.5. So ground 121.76, tower 118.305. At 176 and 18. Decimal 305. Lovely. So, in terms of nav aids, I don't think that there's anything we can reasonably tune. Nope, there isn't. We probably have a VOR on some of the other charts, but I don't really care about that. Scope 2000, above, transponder standby. And that's it. Cool, so everything is set down here. Everything is set on the other side as well. Then let's go ahead and get our clearance. The clearance is going to come from Say Intentions AI, who are actually the sponsor of today's video. So if you are looking for an ATC add-on, and if you like what you are going to hear in today's video, then be sure to check them out using the link in the video description and the pinned comment below. Alright, and now let's get our ATIS.
Traffic services requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact, you have information mic. Nuremberg Airport, information mic. 1250 Zulu. Wind 115 at 8. Cav OK. Temperature 32. Dew point 10. QNH 1019er. Density altitude 3100 feet. Arriving and departing runway 10. Transition level 55, advise on course heading, altitude. Okay,
lovely. Well, then let's get our clearance. And I would actually say our FO can get it, right? Hey, could you request IFR clearance, please?
I can't handle that request. I'm only trained to manage IFR-related comms.
That's what I told you to do. Okay, please request our IFR clearance.
I'll get our IFR clearance from ground.
Yes, please. So, scheduled off block in 5 minutes. That's looking pretty good.
NÜRNBERG Airport Ground, Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo, requesting our IFR clearance. We have information, Mike.
I'll grab that clearance. Give me just a minute.
So, let's see. We're looking for the
Sun
Lotus
Express 9 Lima Kilo. Information Mike is current. Clear to Menderes via the Rody 1 Charlie departure runway 10. Initial climb to 7,000 feet. Departure on 129.525 squawk 4522.
Could you do the readback, please?
Read back. Clear to Menderes via the Rody 1 Charlie departure. Departure runway 10, initial climb altitude 7,000 feet. Departure on 129.525, squawk 4522.
There might have been a comma too much in that readback, but apart from that, she did it. Alright, and of course I should have enabled those automatic readbacks first. So let's just turn that one on in the settings. She might just do it again now. Let's see about it.
NÜRNBERG Airport Ground, Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo, read back. Cleared to Menderes via the Rody 1 Charlie departure. Departing runway 10, initial climb to 7,000 feet. Departure frequency 129.525, squawk 4522.
Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo, read back correct.
So, 4522, runway 10,
Hello everyone.
Lotus 1 Charlie,
Welcome aboard Sun Express Flight
7,000.
839 to IZMIR. Just a reminder to take your seats according to your boarding passes and, stow your hand luggage in the overhead bins or under the seats in front of you. If you need any help, just shout out to us, yeah? We're here to assist or whatever. So, buckle up and, enjoy the flight, I guess. Thanks
Right.
for flying with us, I suppose.
So, 129.525 and squawk 4522. All of that is set, and hey, I should be able to erase the... Here we go. Alright, cool. So, Lotus 1 Charlie is checked, even though I have no idea why it's doing Delta November 113 and then direct Lotus. That is definitely a bug. But apart from that, everything's looking good as per our clearance. Alright, so we should be able to get our tuck in a few moments. APU is available. Then let's tell GSX to prepare the position for pushback and departure. And then let's have a look into our performance and payload. So starting with the weight and balance, 65.4 is our zero fuel weight versus 65.6, so that's a little bit less. And that's a gross weight of 73.8, which checks. Alright, excellent. Then the departure will be off Echo Delta Delta November. And actually we can just copy the FMC data down here, makes it easier. So, flap config 5, air conditioning on and anti-ice off. And calculate. Different flap setting, derate or decrease weight. Oh, you are not above the maximum takeoff weight, my friend. You are definitely not. Well, what are we gonna do then? We can't change this. Air conditioning off. No, that's nonsense. This entire calculation here is nonsense. The airplane is well within its maximum takeoff weight. Even within the performance limited, I can tell you that much. I don't have a 737 calculator anymore, but let's see what happens if I just type in wind 0. I'm kind of hoping I can just find some mistakes somewhere. By the way, meters per second. You can see that iFly are Chinese. No, okay. This tells me we can't take off. I'm 100% sure we can, so we'll just do full blast. We'll just keep it on 28k, full takeoff. Flaps 5. So CG 21.8. And speeds 42, 45, 53. That will be easy going. So 153. Okay, cool. So all that good stuff is done, then let's do the PA to our passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning from flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel. In the name of Sun Express, welcome aboard flight 389 to IZMIR. Flight time today 2 hours 20, and we do expect a smooth ride. Sit back, relax, and make yourself comfortable, and if there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. Cabin crew, all doors in flight. Alright, good. So, well then. Ground from cockpit. You can disconnect the external power, please. So, ground support. Alright, park and brake is set, so you can remove the chocks as well, and then we'll call for clearance. Okay. Safety inspection checklist, and before start checklist, down to the line, please. Actually, we can just do the transit before start checklist. So, your order damper on, fuel, that's 8.5 required, 8.5 on board, 4 pumps on, fasten belts on, window heat on, air cannon press, packs auto bleeds on set, press mode selector auto, instruments cross-checked, auto brake RTO, speed brake, down attend, park and brake sets, doctrine cutout switch is normal, radius radar and transponder set standby, radar and aileron trims 3 and 0, take a brief and discuss, PA complete, FMC CDU set, N19 and IS box. So that's automatic and full 28k, speed 42, 45, 53 set, stop trim 5.3 set, performance weight and balance sign send, phones off, EFB, airplane no understood, flight windows and cockpit door. Are locked, doors closed, passengers seated, B4 start checklist complete. Please ask for the pushback clearance.
Requesting pushback now. NÜRNBERG Airport ground, Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, requesting clearance for pushback.
Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, pushback approved. Face north.
Okay, she should do the readback herself. I've set it to automatic. Are you going to read back?
Pushback approved, facing north.
Oh, lovely. She seemed a little bit tired today. Okay, before start checklist below the line. Air complex off, anti-collision on, park and brake set, transponder alt off, before start checklist complete. So, ground flight deck, pushback approved, face north, park and brake set. Water release brakes, please. And, well, we can only do east or west. It's gonna be west since we're gonna taxi the runway 10. Okay. Brake released. Thank you. Pushing back, and we are within 3 minutes. We'll call it on time. Schedule would have been 15. I'm happy with it this way.
Welcome aboard Sun Express Flight 839 to IZMIR. Just buckle up, yeah? We've got a distance of 964 miles ahead of us, and the estimated flight time is about 2 hours and 25 minutes.
Our
cruising altitude will be 29,000 feet. So,
start.
just sit back and try to enjoy the flight, I guess. Oh, and by the way, we've got Captain Emmanuel and First Officer Amanda up front, and my fellow crew members are Sarah, John, and Lucy.
N2?
We're all here to make sure
N1?
you, survive this journey. Now, about safety. To fasten your seatbelt, just pull the strap across your lap and click it into the buckle. To release it, just lift the buckle. If the oxygen masks drop down,
progress
put one
might take a
towards
little
you,
while.
place it over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. Don't worry about the kids. Put your mask on first before helping them. If we need to evacuate, leave your luggage behind, alright?
Sticking to the ground.
The emergency exits are located at the front, middle, and rear of the aircraft.
Impressive.
Just follow the lights, they'll guide you.
Very impressive.
So yeah, let's hope we don't need any of that, eh? Anyway, I'll let the captain know that the cabin is ready for departure.
Alright, I don't know who's so incredibly motivated in the back there, but I have a feeling I might have to tell them that someone else please do those PAs. Mara, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here, Captain. Just, trying to keep it together, you know?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Welcome aboard, everyone. This is, Sun Express Flight 839 to IZMIR. Just, buckle up and try to enjoy the flight, I guess. We're flying a Boeing 737 MAX 8, and it's gonna be a bit of a bumpy ride, so, hang on tight. Thanks for flying with us, or whatever.
Yeah, could you please let your colleague do the PAs? Because you do sound like you are a little bit tired, you know?
Okay, Captain. I understand. I will let my colleague handle the announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your understanding. My colleague will now be making the announcements for this flight.
Alright.
You're welcome, Captain.
Look at that. All of a sudden. That's a bit more motivation, isn't it? So, the clear signal is already received up there, even though our engine hasn't even completed starting. So, fuel on, engine valve is operating. And here we go, number one is starting up. Okay, I suppose that means the clear signals from everywhere are received already. So, starter cutout, monitor 1. Number 1 is stable. Okay, flight control track. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudders. Full left. Full right. And neutral. So after start checklist, please. Generators on, APU off, start switches continuous, probe beat on, anti-ice off, air conditioning packs auto, bleeds on, isolation valve auto, flaps 5 required, 5 selected and the green light, step trim, that's 5.6 units set. Start levers, idle detent, flight controls checked, recall checked, B4, taxi checklist complete. Request taxi please.
Requesting taxi clearance now. Nürnberg Airport ground, Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, ready to taxi. We have Mike.
So, what about the clearance? Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, request taxi.
Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, taxi to runway 10 via Mike 2, Foxtrot.
Runway 10 via Mike 2, Foxtrot, Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo.
Okay, that's going to be a right-hand turn and then Foxtrot all the way to the full length. Clear on the right side, clear on the left side. So, even though we're at a high weight, she does start to move, just like a Max would. So that's a good thing. Okay. And we go off to the right-hand side. Might need a little bit of thrust here just to avoid it stopping in the turn. Clear right side, clear left side, and the sun is just about coming up over the trees. Beautiful. Now we would need some sunglasses. That would be a nice feature for the sim, wouldn't it? Adding sunglasses. Okay, so config check. And before takeoff checklist to the line, please. Config checked, flaps 5.5 green light, stab trim 5.6 set. Takeoff briefing. It will be a left seat takeoff, runway 10, flaps 5, noise weapon procedure 2, backup at 1500. This takeoff will be with HACs, auto bleeds on, anti-ice off. Takeoff speeds 142, 145, 153. The SID is more or less straight ahead. We contact departure when advised by the tower. Initial climb to flight level 70. What else is there? Emergencies, straight ahead to 25 miles. Pick up the hold. 4000 is going to be fine, and then we come back for an ILS approach to runway 10. Any questions? No? Very good. Cabin. Secure. Before takeoff checklist complete.
Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo, contact tower on 118.305 off Wiedersehen.
Switching to tower on 118.305. Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo.
Okay, we're ready. You can call it ready for departure.
NÜRNBERG Airport Tower, Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo morning, holding short of 10, ready for departure.
Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo, NÜRNBERG Airport Tower, runway 10, winds 115 at 8, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 10, cleared for takeoff. Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo.
Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Okay, before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP. Set, transponder, Tara, strobe lights on, landing lights on, before takeoff checklist complete. So it looks like it's going a little bit uphill over here. Look at this, man. It's a beautiful sim, isn't it? Okay, we're clear on the approach. And we're clear on the right hand side. We should have RAS in this aircraft. It's supposed to come with its own. So for that reason I disabled VRAS, but looks like that's not really working. Anyway, are you ready? Take off. Stabilized. Set takeoff thrust. Takeoff thrust is set, indications normal. 80 knots, checked. And now let's see if that runway is really too short. V1, rotate. Positive climb, gear up. LNAV, VNAV.
Sun
Express 9er Lima Kilo, contact departure on 129er.525.
Switching to departure on 129er.525. Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo.
Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. And flaps up. Speed checked.
Munich radar, Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, morning. We're climbing past 2000.
Sun Express Nina Lima Kilo, Munich radar, identified. Climb flight level 050.
No.
Climbing to flight level 050. Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo.
So it's altitude 5000, my friend. Not a flight level. Select vertical speed 1000. VS 1000.
Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, climb flight level 220.
Climbing flight level 220, Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo.
That's better. So, set. Flight level 220 checked. VNAV. And we have flaps up, no lights. Set standard. Standard, cross check. Passing flight level 53 now. .28 degrees. We don't need anti-ice for this. Command A. So we can easily make that 6,300 restriction down there. Alright, and then we're up and on the way. I like it. Oh, didn't mean to do that, but for now our FO would surely be awake. There's been a story once where one of the two pilots has been napping. Fully legal, of course, you can't do that. It's called controlled rest. And when the other pilot wanted to wake him up, he did this. It worked, but it also caused them coffee without any biscuits. Alright, so altimeters. Passing level 103, climbing level 220, 10 checks. Fuel is balanced.
Dear guests, we are now at a safe altitude, and you are welcome to use your electronic devices.
Off, APU
Also, I'm pleased to inform you that our onboard Wi-Fi service is now available. Enjoy your flight with us on Sun Express Flight 839, departing from NÜRNBERG and heading to Adnan Menderes International Airport. Thank you.
Cabin is released, recall checked, and monitoring 1 to 1.5. 10 checks complete. And of course, this is a Boeing, so we do have an after takeoff checklist, so let's do that one as well. So,
Sun Express Nina Lima Kilo, climb flight level 290.
Climbing flight level 290, Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo.
Set, 290 checked. Okay, so, air can impress, 4.1 climbing set. And altimeters. Standard, passing level 130. Now, after takeoff checklist complete. Alright, cool. With that, we're up and on the way. I think the cabin crew have had their time to prepare the aircraft now, so let's release the passengers as well. And with that, I'd say enjoy the beautiful views, and I see you a little bit later on our approach into IZMIR.
9er Lima Kilo. Cleared for the RIX 1 Golf arrival into Menderes Airport.
Cleared for the RIX 1 Golf arrival into Menderes Airport. Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo.
Alright, you've heard it. That's our start clearance for the RIX 1 Golf arrival that we had actually anticipated earlier on. So let's go ahead and start to prepare our arrival into IZMIR. Now, we did prepare the ILS uniform approach on the runway 34 right, and of course we need the ground charts as well as the parking stand charts. So let's go ahead and start with the basics and see if we can obtain an ATIS. That should be on 129.2.
Requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information Golf. Adnan Menderes International Airport, information Golf. 1450 Zulu. Wind 010 at 17. Cav OK. Temperature 31. Dew point 8. QNH 1011. Density altitude 2400 feet. Arriving and departing runways 34 left, 34 right. Transition level 110 advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information Golf. Adnan.
Cool, so information Golf is on board. We do have good weather conditions. 3-4 right is in use as expected. So that's a good basic to start our setup. You've seen that I've already done a little bit of setup work over here, but let's go ahead and cross-check our arrival. So we're coming in from Rixo and then via Bravo Juliet 561 to Bravo Juliet 109. So that's Rixo 561 109 and that's above flight level 235. Thereafter we'll need a somewhat steep descent, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So onto IZMIR VOR and then via waypoint 567, 230 knots and above 9,000 feet, which we've got in here, towards Fulford, 220 knots and above 5,000 feet, and we've got that one as well. Thereafter, we are either going to fly directly via Fulford onto the ILS uniform approach 34 right, or we are going to receive radar vectors. Now, from Fulford to 25,000, we would proceed toward IFMUTS 200 knots, 3,900 feet, which we have in here, and thereafter to the final approach fix of Fuju in 2,000 feet at 160 knots, which we've got in here. 3-degree glide slope is confirmed on the FMS versus the flight plan, down to a minimum of 590 feet, which we can already tune. So for 590, here it is. Alright, in case of missed approach, we're going to proceed straight out to Bravo Juliet 340, then turn right, Bravo Juliet 570, proceed to Sazlu and hold at 5,000, maximum 180 until waypoint 570, which is to keep us inside the valley over here, since we've got mountains up to 3,400 feet on the left and 4,900 feet on the right, while the field itself is just at 400 feet, so that's a pretty lovely approach and missed approach as well. Alright, so that much for the basics. Now for the auto brakes and flap setting, we are going to wait a little bit because I do want to do one of those good old Boeing 737 briefings that I haven't really done in a while. So let's just go ahead and calculate our landing data here. So Lima, Tango, Bravo, Juliet, search, select. Runway 34 right, condition dry. I'm going to calculate just 5 knots of headwind here. It actually... oh no, why is it meters? 5 kT. Oh, I don't want meters. We're not in China. Okay, temperature was 31, QNH is 1011. 30 on, off, and probably automatic 3, with addition of 5 knots. And then we can do the en route part, so reversers. We'll calculate without, and no non-normal checklists here. Right, cool. So let's see, landing weight burning 500 is going to be 68.5. Does that make sense? Alright, cool. So that stuff is in here, then let's go ahead and do the approach briefing, please. So threats for the arrival, honestly, I don't see any. Well, terrain is one, but for that we are obviously going to use the terrain display. So, we've got 250 below 10,000, forecast is in, fixed rings 10 and 4 miles are in there. The arrival is via Rixo via 561 to 109 above level 235, IZMIR VOR 567, and we've already checked all of those restrictions. The approach itself is an ILS approach on a runway 34 right, which starts in 2,000 feet, 3-degree glide slope, minimum 590, which is set, and the go-around straight ahead right turn climbing 5,000. So final approach course 341, we forgot to set those up. What a surprise after not flying the 737 for a long time. So 341, frequencies 1103. Like that, and like that. Perfect. Okay, MSA 5,500 up to 7,000 in the northeast. In terms of fuel, we are going to arrive with 3,000 kilos on board. Our minimum is 2.7, so we have around 5 minutes extra. We are burning 500 kilos, and that's a landing weight of 68.4. Calculated 68.5 in here. 2,000 meters of runway are required using auto brakes 3 and flaps 30, and that's what we are going to do. Okay, cool. And that's pretty much it.
Sun Express, Niner, Lima Kilo, cleared, Rix, 1 Echo, arrival into Menderes. When you're ready to begin your descent, descend. Flight level 290.
Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo, request the Rixo 1 Golf arrival, and when ready, descent level 290.
Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo, cleared for the Rix 1 Golf arrival into Menderes Airport. Descent, flight level 290.
Cleared Rixo 1 Golf arrival into Menderes, descent level 290, Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo. Okay, that was a nice attempt, my dear friends over at ATC, but no, we are gonna take that Golf arrival. Okay, so that's our briefing completed, so let's do the descent checklist here. Pressurization, land out 400, any eyes off, approach briefing fuel discussed, ISML box checked and set, descent checklist complete.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now left our cruising altitude and have started our approach to Adnan Menderes International Airport. Please return to your seats, stow your tables, and fasten your seatbelts. The usage of the lavatories is no longer allowed at this time. Thank you for your cooperation as we prepare for landing.
Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo. Contact Menderes. Approach on 119.45.
Switching to Menderes approach on 119.45. Menderes approach, Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo, morning. Descending through flight level 150 to 5,000.
Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo. Menderes approach identified. Good morning. Expect the ILS runway 34 right approach into Menderes.
Expecting the ILS runway 34 right approach into Menderes. Sun Express 9 Lima Kilo.
Alright, and with that we are down here on the approach into IZMIR. Now, beautiful look outside. We just gotta also have a look at our airspeed, because we are obviously descending rather steeply after passing the flight level 235 and above restriction. So we are doing a lovely 320 knots over here, with the speed brakes of course extended to get ourselves down. We will keep the speed brakes extended here, and at level 100 we are going to level off so that our airspeed can reduce. And I am going to do what I've always done in the real 737 as well for these cases. Use vertical speed mode and get it down with that.
Captain, cabin is ready.
Alright, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our final approach into IZMIR, please turn off your electronic devices and stow them until we arrive at the gate. Kindly ensure your tray tables are put away, your seats are in their full upright position, and your seat belts are fastened. Our Sun Express staff will provide you with information regarding your connection flights once we are on the ground. Thank you for your cooperation.
Alright. Cool. So everyone is ready in the back, then let's do the 10 checks. So fuel 3.4 tons balanced, 4 pumps on, lights on. So 25 degrees angle of bank are selected. Then let's go back in a level change over here as we're approaching our target speed. Right, air conditioning and pressurization is on 2.4, descending and set. Fasteners on, recoil checked, and 1 to 1.5 can be deselected. Cabin crew, 10 minutes to landing. And that's the 10 checks completed. So we're in a nice descent now. We should expect radar vectors just prior to 4 foot, and then we can already reduce our speed towards 220 knots, which is the speed restriction that we will have over at 4 foot. We'll keep the speed brakes out, and in order to help the airplane get down, let's also go ahead and extend the flaps. The flaps 1, speed checked. A little bit of a tailwind over here, but that's good because that's going to turn into a headwind on final. Now we don't have currents to turn final just yet. Let's go to heading mode here. Keep flying towards 4 foot. And flaps 5. So speed checked. Flaps 5. Okay, approaching the clearance limit. Let's request radar vectors. Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, request radar vectors.
Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, turn left, heading 020 for radar vectors to intercept the ILS runway 34 right approach at LTBJ.
Left heading 020 for radar vectors to intercept the ILS runway 34 right approach. Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo.
Okay, so let's bring our speed back towards 180, and we're in heading select 020. So update that direct for me, please. And we can retract our speed brakes. So, let's do the first check, please. Frequencies 110.3 once, twice, and 3 times. Fixed wings runway 34 right, 10 miles, 4 miles. Items should be IMAN, and we've got IMAN and IMAN. So, standby instruments are set, and the course is 341, 3 times. Approach checklist, please. Altimeters and instruments, cross-checked, approach rates, checked and set. Approach checklist completed. Right, let's put the VSD active, since we do have a little bit of terrain over here. And 1,000 to go. Vertical speed. So, as far as I remember, we are not cleared for the ILS just yet, so we gotta stay on the heading for now. Actually, he did say to intercept the ILS. Okay, then we are cleared, so Warlock armed. And since he said intercept the ILS, we can ascend to 3,900. Alright, level change. Speed brake out, and we are about 1 dot above the glide. That should be fine. Warlock capture. Runway heading 341 set. And glide slope capture. Go around altitude 5000 set. Okay, established. That was nice. Well done. Let's have a little bit of fun, shall we?
Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, proceed directive news. Cleared for the ILS runway 34 right approach. Speed at 200 knots until established.
Well, that comes a little bit
Sun
late.
Express 9er Lima Kilo, contact Menderes Tower on 118.1.
That's better.
Proceeding directive news. Cleared for the ILS runway 34 right approach. Speed 200 knots until established. Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo. Switch.
So let's see if she's also going to call the tower. Passing 10 miles, 3000 above, less than 200 knots.
Menderes Tower, Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, morning. We're established on the ILS approach for runway 34 right.
Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, Menderes Tower, roger.
Okay, so looks like we actually do need a little bit of thrust to keep the airplane on the ILS. But then again, we are pretty heavy today, and we have quite a strong headwind as well, which of course takes an effect.
Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, Menderes Tower, wind 025 at 15, runway 34 right, cleared to land.
Runway 34 right, cleared to land. Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo.
Alright, we're clear to land. So around about 900 feet per minute should be good to keep on that ILS. The stabilized approach gate is at 500 AGL today. That's 900 on the altimeter. And since we are a lovely VMC, we can configure at 4 miles. Man, it's getting gusty. Alright, gear down, flaps 15. Flaps 30, set VRF plus 5. Landing checklist. Start switches, continuous, recall, checked, speed brake, armed, green light, landing gear down 3 green, auto brake, 3 set, flaps 30, 30, green light, landing lights on, landing checklist complete. Could you ask for a wind check, please?
I'll request a wind check from the tower. Menderes Tower, Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo. Could you provide a wind check, please?
Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, wind 025 at 15.
025 at 15, okay, so let's just add a couple knots here. So the wind is gonna turn. Actually, it's quite okay where it is right now. So the puppy looks a little bit more reliable here than the glide slope. Let's stay on the puppies.
Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Speed brake up, thrust was normal. 75%. Manual brakes.
Express Lima Kilo, welcome to Menderes. Contact ground on 121.7.
Switching to ground on 121.7. Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo.
Okay, we have no clearance to cross the other runway, so we gotta stop here.
Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo. Morning. We're clear of runway 34 right and ready to taxi to the gate.
Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo, Menderes ground, taxi to gate via Lima, cross runway 16 right, then Echo. Good day.
Gate via Lima, cross 16 right, then Echo. Sun Express 9er Lima Kilo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to IZMIR. We have just landed at Adnan Menderes International Airport. Thank you for flying with Sun Express Flight 839 from
Lima and
Please remain seated
Echo.
with your seatbelts fastened until we reach our final parking position.
So, Lima is this one, Echo is this one, and then
our
our company told us earlier that we've got stand number
It's
31.
also famous for its delicious cuisine, especially the local seafood. On behalf of Captain Emmanuel, First Officer Amanda, and the entire crew, we wish you a wonderful stay here. The local time is 8:48 a.m. Thank you.
So, the GSX menu is once again not opening, as you can see. Let's restart GSX in the background here, though I have no clue if it's going to help. Starting APU. So gate 30 is already coming up. Let's slow it down a little bit to give GSX some time to start. So not this one, but the next one. Here we go. So gate 30. No follow me needed, handling by Turkish, that's fine, and taxi light off please. So that guidance system was a little bit slow there, and why is it just floating in the air? I guess I don't have to understand that part. In any case, it reached 737 max, so that's okay. And stop. So, 2 blue, 1 red. Engines dead. Coming through, all doors to park. Okay, engines coming down, and let's do the procedure. So we are going to leave the airplane over here, so it's going to be the full shutdown. So, both engines below 20%. Okay, so full shutdown checklist, please. Electrical, no, actually we start over here. Fuel pumps, off but one. Electrical on APU. Fasten belts off, window heat off, probe heat auto, anti-ice off, hydraulics off. So voice recorder not installed. Air compacts off, engine bleeds on, APU bleed off, exterior lights set, start switches off, auto brake off, speed brake down to 10, flaps up no light, park and brake set, start levers cut off, weather radar off, transponder 2000 standby, CVR/CV in, and the cockpit door unlocked. And that's our shutdown checklist complete. Thank you very much, Amanda.
You're welcome, Emmanuel. Let's get to the gate.
Yep, that's what we're definitely gonna do. Alright then, arrival at 0552, and the schedule was, I think, just about there. 0600. Wonderful. So, let's see, we were supposed to use 5,600 kilos of fuel, and we used 5,400 kilos of fuel, so saved a tiny bit, that's okay. So, in other words, the fuel usage is within a reasonable range, and with that, let's go ahead and shut the airplane down. So, all that good stuff is done, and then let's also get ourselves a ground power unit. So, system, chocks in, GPU connect, and air conditioning connect as well. Alright, cool. So, that's our airplane pretty much set. Let's wait until the APU is shut down, and then we can already put it on the ground service bus, really. So, ground service is on. Nice. Cool. So, then here we go. Alright, and that's it. Securing the aircraft checklist. RS mode selectors off. Emergency exit lights off, trim air, actually that's supposed to stay on, so trim air on, and that's the securing the aircraft checklist complete. Alright my friends, I do hope that you enjoyed this one. Be sure to leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. Let me know how you like the iFly. And with that out of the way, I am looking forward to see you guys again on the next one. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you liked our ATC, then be sure to check out Say Intentions AI using the link in the video description and the pinned comment below. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to support me directly, use the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description, and then I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.